Thank you, everybody, for tuning in again. I am Sean Santoro with Solomon Financial and hosting another episode of One-on-One. Today, our guest is Brian Hendel from Splice Digital. Brian, thank you very much for coming on and sharing some of your wisdom with the listeners today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How's things been going? How's things been going for you guys during the whole COVID quarantine? Again, a lot of your business is all digital stuff, right? So you probably are a little bit more used to kind of non-face-to-face work.
Yeah, we adapted fairly well. We've been out of the office for feels like 2 months. But yeah, we use digital systems to manage projects, to communicate with clients. Most of our clients are in the United States already, so there's a certain level of remoteness there. We've got systems like micro bonusing systems that are all electronic already. So yeah, we've transitioned very well, actually.
Awesome, very good. And so you said most of your clients are in the US.
Yeah, so we made the decision years and years ago to go after big advertising, marketing, media agencies in the States, and they're a lot easier to deal with. There's more money there. The exchange rate's great. And it allows us to get access to great brands like Atari, Puma, Philips, Microsoft, things we wouldn't normally be able to gain access to here in Windsor. And we've got some Windsor initiatives, but most of our revenue stream comes from the States.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Well, no, and I agree with you, right? There's that big market just north of us, right? Yeah. I don't know how many people are in Michigan off the top of my head, but it's a lot. It's way more than we've got in our little neck of the woods here in Southern Ontario. So, but yeah, and that's what, for a lot of people that I speak with that have markets in the States, yeah, that's where, rubber hits the road, and they can really blow up quickly. A friend of mine does, and again, I'm not a super techy guy. He does managed service providers, MSPs. Am I just saying that correctly? And so he does a lot of his businesses in Denver, California, lots of stuff. So he's always traveling. I don't know how much traveling he's doing right now, but a lot.
Surprising when you get out there, especially when we started working in Silicon Valley and near San Francisco. We were surprised at just how competitive we could be, not even in rate, but in competitive in terms of a little Windsor company being able to attract huge billion-dollar companies to use us as tech vendors. We figured, well, some place like San Francisco or Silicon Valley would be saturated with local vendors, but if you do a good job and you give a crap about customer experience, you can succeed. And we charge full rate US dollars. We don't even charge a Canadian rate and give them a deal. We charge full rate. And just you do a good job, you can attract clients in a big pool like Silicon Valley.
Yeah. So how long has Splice Digital been around? Is it kind of the first iteration? Again, I'm sure, you've been doing this for a long time. I'm sure there's been, it's grown and evolved since then.
Yeah. So from the very beginning, I mean, I'm a developer. The incarnation of the company at first was me as a developer. That was it, right? Wearing all the hats at once. That was about 15 years ago. And for maybe, 4 years, it was just me developing. And then I slowly hired offshore developers and then, some local onshore people to manage them. And eventually, I think about 7 years ago is when we decided to set up shop here in Windsor and just hire local, build an office, be a traditional company. And so for the past 7 years, we've really been growing that model. And it's been doing great. We've doubled our revenue 1 year, and
wow.
It's been really good. But yeah, 15 years total, about 7 years being really a local presence.
Oh, okay. So you came out of university or something like that. Did you originally start in the kind of IT field in the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, I was a developer in grade school. I mean, I had ADD, so I wasn't really good at the traditional grade school classes. And the one thing that I seemed to be good at was in computers. So I really struggled because of my ADD, but I focused when I was presented in front of a computer. So when I was in that world, I said, I want to know everything about it, the hardware, the software. So even in grade school, it was like learning BASIC and Pascal and cool stuff like that. And for some reason, began to get decent at handling clients, making clients happy, saying what they want to hear and delivering what they need delivered. And the business sort of just came in afterwards. I mean, you don't need a business degree to run a business. You just need some common sense. You need to source really smart people around you. and then sort of backfilled the business around. And, you know, I haven't developed in a long time, but I manage the business, I manage our strategy. And, you know, the interesting thing about our strategy, I always fantasize about these SaaS companies, like these software as a service companies, Facebook, and, you know, developing one targeted SaaS product that they brought to market, and they focused all their efforts into those products. So right from the beginning, I had this vision, and we were actually even labeled Splice Innovations on our Windsor office, because I thought, let's use all the stuff we've built, the business acumen, the sales, the user experience, design, development, all that, and spin up our own new initiatives, our own new ventures, while still maintaining the revenue stream from our traditional clients. And we've just in the past year delivered on that vision. So it's taken a while, but we've delivered 2 products in market: a product for the greenhouse space called IPM Scout Tech, which is an industry-leading product for managing pests, diseases, pesticides, beneficial insects. We've just released it to market, and we're in greenhouses like Mucci, Nature Fresh, the big ones in the area. And we're going global with this thing. And actually, we're hopefully signing a big deal very shortly. So that's just been released, and it's off to a great start. We've got huge interest from local and global players. And the second initiative that we brought to the table is a new one, which we were in the news for recently, which was Shop My Town. We're building a regional e-commerce marketplace, starting in Windsor, Essex, Leamington, Kingsville, sort of wrapping that together, providing a single platform for vendors to sell next to other vendors in the region. So, you know, the Tea Emporium, Robbie's Gourmet Sausages, all bringing all these companies together. So as a customer, you can shop Windsor and see all these vendors, add to your single shopping cart, check out once with a single secure credit card. We protect your billing information. We handle the disbursements of money to the vendors. You don't need a merchant account or an e-commerce site. We provide all that for you. So that's been our second venture that we're bringing to market right now. And in the next maybe hopefully 2 weeks, we plan on launching that. So those, we have the core business, and then these 2 new initiatives that we're actually spinning off as new companies. And the goal is to kind of keep doing this and almost act as like a startup forge. Just keep building new brands and building new initiatives.
Okay, so IPM Scout Tech, that's your first kind of new innovation, and then Shop My Town is the second.
Our first innovation was actually called the Pizza Bot. It was the world's first natural language processing, artificial intelligent pizza ordering chatbot, where you could text to the bot like, "Hey, I want to order a pizza," and you just talk to it using text message like you would talk to your friend. Give me some mush, and I'll take some pepperoni. Yeah. And it was actually really good at understanding everything. We had hired a comedian to kind of give it some character, and then it would deliver the order directly to the pizzerias and literally on a printed thermal paper that they would then rip off and execute the order. So we built that about 3 years ago, and kind of put it on hold for several reasons. Built a lot of it. Most of it was all done. But these 2 I talked about today are really the 2 that have a lot of impetus and funding behind them. So these are our first real 2.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Well, that's, again, right. Those both sound very exciting. Yes. Hello, dear. Thanks. My littlest one likes to, she likes the camera too, don't you, dear? Yeah. She's not shy. Yep. So, well, no, again, right. Those sound like, especially the Shop My Town. I think that could get some seriously good traction. Like, what a phenomenal way for a whole bunch of small businesses, big businesses, whoever, to really get access to the consumer. And ultimately, in the end, it benefits the consumer, makes it nice, easy, simple, all right there, all connected. That's awesome.
So how do we provide like an Amazon for local? So I could say, I just want to see everybody in the local area, who's doing free delivery, who's doing curbside. I don't want to have to I'm tired of calling people up and giving people my credit card number over the phone. It's ridiculous. You know, they're just jotting it down on some piece of paper. No, secure that process, make it so it's, you go from all your vendors, put everything into a shopping cart, one checkout, and you're done. So make the consumer aspect easy and remove all the barriers and frictions to the vendor by saying, you don't need a merchant account, you don't need the technology. We actually are driving traffic to you. We're doing promotions into the platform, and even when people are in the platform for one vendor, they're going to stumble on other vendors. So you're going to get new exposure to markets that you never really had access to. We got a lot of great vendors here, but not everybody knows about them, right? So solving all those problems in one shot that's been our goal here.
Absolutely. And again, right, the one of the beautiful things about the mall itself is you'd go there for one, but you'd have all, right, I could run any kind of business, and some people might come for a suit, they might come for shoes, they might come for bedding, they might come for groceries. But if I do something else and they're walking past and they see my store, hey, perfect. That's right, that's advertising to a potential new customer that I didn't really have to do anything for. I was just in the right place at the right time. Right. And so that's, I agree, right? Having that area where they can all exist. Yeah. It's going to naturally drive additional traffic that you wouldn't have gotten in the first place as just a standalone. So yeah, I think you guys are onto something phenomenal there. That could get serious traction.
Yeah. There's not, there's nothing really doing that en masse. So the goal is pilot this in Windsor, proof the concept. We're going, like Scout Tech took over a year to build. This thing we're building in like a month to 2 months, and fast to market, get it out, prove a concept. And as soon as the concept gets proven, the goal is to scale it nationally. We want to hit every major region across Canada and then go beyond. So there's you get the Etsy's of the world, and even Facebook has sort of a regional shopping platform. There's Shopify that's trying to do something, but nothing is really click on one site, see all the products. So this is sort of a first to market.
That's awesome. Phenomenal. Hey, and it sounds like you guys got your hands full. Again, I don't know much about the tech space, but I suspect coding and all that and all the little nuances and all that working together, that's going to be a ton of work. But that's what I'm. And you said, so Shop My Town, that's Windsor, Essex, Leamington, Kingsville?
That's the way we see it right now.
Gotcha. Okay. And then expanding from there. Gotcha. What about Amherstburg? Are they going to be inclusive of that as well?
I mean, Amherstburg was I guess we should probably start mentioning them because they would be part of that region.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like Harrow, for instance. It's just a matter of, so we're not going to split off separate regional clusters. We're going to kind of cluster all of that together. And bring all those vendors into one place. So everybody in this region would be considered part of this regional area.
Yeah, so just like the Southern Ontario kind of region.
Yeah, probably like we're thinking Chatham is probably now going to be a separate region.
Okay.
We have to find what is that attenuation so that people aren't driving 2 hours to go pick something up curbside.
Yeah.
So we're working the details, but we think Chatham's probably going to be the next another region out there.
Very good. And so again, right, you said that, right, you have these other operating, right, these other businesses are going to be, eventually develop into their own, but you said your primary is more in the AI space and in the direct management. Could you give us a little background on what it is that you primarily do?
Yes, so we primarily build web and mobile applications. These are often anything, usually they're B2B. So we actually managed Atari.com for a small period of time. We built
like the old gaming Atari.
Yeah, so we had access to Atari.com's Drupal site, and we built the Atari Arcade way back in the day. So you could actually play games through our technology we built here in Windsor. And Microsoft, did a big media fanfare about it, and we built really a core part of it. So we provide our services to other agencies. So the agencies have access to the brands.
Yeah.
So we're not walking into an Atari. We're walking into, we had an agency, we had a partner in Edmonton called G Skinner. They have NFL and PGA Tour and Atari. Google just walked, and Adobe walked into them asking for some stuff. So then they come to us to get a lot of the technology done. So there's that, the heavy lifting stuff, building web applications, mobile applications, and then we build high-end WordPress and Drupal CMS websites. So that's another core pillar within the company, is building out really high-end web and e-commerce sites. But what we really excel at is building the heavy lifting stuff, the software as a service, the web, the mobile application work.
Gotcha. Okay, so software as a service, web mobile app work, and then the actual web design.
Yeah, web design, web dev, that's considered, like, so many people do that, right? So it's a bit of a commoditized space. So we have to do it really well and focus on higher end vendors typically. So that's just why we haven't done much work in Windsor, because it's hard to be competitive. And so we go right to like $1 billion companies in California.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. And so when you say it's tough to be competitive in this, is it just that you see maybe there's not as much demand for it, or is there just like an abundance of people that kind of specialize in the similar field?
Well, there's a mix of things. One, the companies aren't as large. Two, Canadian companies are a little less likely to spend on technology. So that's been an issue. Three, the Windsor area has a lot of web development shops that are operating at lower rates than we are. So companies don't value necessarily the premium end service here in Windsor as they would in San Jose, for instance.
Yeah.
So there they want somebody who's just the best at what they do, exceptional project management, knows that when we deliver it, it's going to be done and ready. No BS. Clients here want to pay a little less and are willing to accept a little bit less of an experience maybe. So it's hard for us to really be competitive in bids here locally. We've done some local work. Windsor Chamber of Commerce, we built their work. The Grove Brewery and hotel in Kingsville, we did all their technology. So we've got some presence here. It's just not a focus. Normally somebody will walk in our door saying, hey, we heard good things about you. Can you help us build some tech? We're not doing a lot of local outreach, but we hire everybody here. So we source here. We brought people from Toronto and Ottawa and Kelowna. We bring people to Windsor because we've got such cool things happening. And we're bringing these great projects to Windsor. We just typically don't have our clients here.
Exactly. Yeah. Gotcha. And hey, that's good. Like you're bringing in, right, more contractors and more exposure and really getting it blasted out there. And I love that, right? They're coming from all different parts of Canada. And are they physically like moving here, or they're just working remotely? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We got the guy from Kelowna. I mean, it's hard. It would be hard for me to leave the mountains, to be honest, but he's settled here. Took for this job, Ottawa. We had a great developer from Ottawa come down here to take this job. We try to run a good ship. We feed our staff home cooked meals every day. We have in-office massage. We have flexible hours. We got a lot of everybody's got 2 or 3 monitors at the office. We really make it really cool. We want to be a great place to work. We pay people well. We want to be one of the higher paying companies in Windsor and attract the best talent. Like I need the best people who want to do the coolest things. We were talking with somebody who used to work at Amazon, who is thinking of coming on board. So it's just try to imagine ourselves not as a Windsor company, but as more of a Toronto or San Francisco company that happens to be in Windsor. That's been my mantra. Absolutely.
Yeah, punch above our weight class, that kind of mentality. That's great. Yeah. That's awesome. And so you said it'd be tough to leave the mountains. Did you spend some time out west?
No, I mean, he used to live there. I love out in Okanagan Valley, and I like to road trip through that area. So I love it there. But no, I'm thinking for him, it's like it's just so gorgeous out there that it's tough to leave to come to Windsor, which is so flat. We got a beautiful waterfront and things that access to the United States, access to Michigan. But yeah, we've got our own beauty here.
Exactly, and so I'm from Calgary. So we moved out here in October 2017. Okay. And so I'm regularly, I maintain a book of business out in Alberta as well, because I'm licensed here and Alberta and just Saskatchewan. Actually, this week I got approved for. But yeah, a lot of my clients are still out in Alberta. Most of my family's out either Alberta, Saskatchewan, and so I grew up there. I love Alberta. I love BC. I love the mountains. The winters are, again, sometimes you get lucky, but sometimes you get, you're buried in no fun for months. And I will say, since moving here, that has probably been the biggest right thumbs up that I, for lack of a better word, thumbs up that I can give to everybody that I regularly talk to back home. I say, you would not believe the weather here. I can't describe it to you. It's literally Mexico weather. And there's like, I don't understand. Like, that's not a thing. I'm like, I know, I didn't understand it either. I don't care because I know it's here. Yeah. But just to be able to walk outside and you sit on your porch and you got your morning coffee and it's just like the smell in the air. It's phenomenal.
We get it. We get it pretty good weather-wise. We had just 30 the other day, and I was saying
it was like 38 degrees. I still probably got a decent burn on the back of my neck. I was outside.
Everybody got a burn this week.
It's crazy. So, but no, again, like lots of advantages that we have here in this area. Real estate, again, a little bit more expensive than it was before, but still great value. You've got access to the United States. Again, depending on your industry, if you're completely mobile and all digital, it makes no difference, right? You're connected everywhere. But again, right, that's one of the big benefits of living out in this area, and you can still surround yourself with great talent. Right.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Right. You got the vision, you got the solutions, you've got, right, the drive. You can attract a lot of high quality talent. It sounds like you building a pretty phenomenal team there. So very well done.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the people are everything. So, we've hired some amazing people, and like I'm learning still to this day how to run a better business, and it's all about stripping out the ego. I tell my employees, like, you can walk in my office and tell me you think we're doing we made a wrong decision, or we were doing something poorly. Okay, let's talk about it. Like, I don't want there to be, I'm the president and you're a developer. No, it's like we're learning from everybody, and that gives a sense of community that we can all help to grow this thing together. And every 6 months, I ask my employees, what do you think we can do better? What should we start doing? What should we stop doing? So it's sourcing your great people for ideas and growth, instead of putting that owner hat on as I must be my idea. I must know how to drive this forward. We don't do that.
That's phenomenal. That's great. Well, listen, again, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but again, this is phenomenal info. Again, you got a couple of great little, right, spin. I shouldn't even say the little. Like, these could be massive scale growth companies. Mm-hmm. And you've got your main business lines. You're attracting quality talent. You're providing them the tools that they need. You want to have a good working environment. So I suspect there'll be some great things coming for you guys. This is awesome. I love to meet you and chat with you. It's great. Hopefully, right, when things get back to normal, have an actual beer in hand or something like that.
Sure, yeah, I'm up for it.
So, but yeah, other than that, that's all I got. But thank you very much, Brian. I do greatly appreciate it. And again, I know there's a lot of listeners that are going to get some value out of this. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. It was my pleasure.
Absolutely. So again, everybody else, thanks for tuning in. This is another episode of One-on-One with the Windsor, Ontario networking community. Again, feel free to check out some of our past videos on our website. It is www.woncan.ca. We'll be having more of these coming along, more value added from other business owners and individuals. And if you guys have topics, suggestions, or you'd like to be featured in one of the interviews, by all means, drop us a message on our Facebook, send us an email, check out the website, leave us a note, and we'll do our best to get to you. So, but other than that, I'm Sean Santoro. Again, thank you very much for tuning in. Brian, thank you again for your time.
Thank you.